Yo, what is up, everybody? So yeah, I just wanted to go over my recent car purchase, see what you guys think about it. So it is a 2008 Infiniti M35, and I got it for a good price, 2,300 bucks running and driving. And I knew it was a sport, so it comes with the 19-inch wheels, a couple other things, a little bit stiffer suspension, and I didn't even know it was an S. It wasn't listed as an S, but I picked it up, and I started thinking about it. One thing, it is very clean in here. No rips, nothing going on in the interior. Steering wheel barely has any wear. The buttons look brand new. The screen is great. Dash uncracked. And it has this cool like carbon fiber material. But I started doing some research, and I figured out one of the things of what makes it a sport. And one of the coolest thing is let's see if I can see it. Gotta get down here. There you go. Kind of difficult to see, but that motor right there connected to it is actually like the newer form of Hikis. So it actually has four-wheel steering, which is pretty awesome. And on top of that, the headlights, this part, actually when you take a left turn, this whole round piece turns to where you're going. So it's pretty awesome. And on top of that, it has, the brushed pedals. Has the brushed pedals, which is a nice touch. The nice cool ass clock. But one thing that made it a good deal was, I didn't know it came with it. I actually was shocked. This baby has the good old, let's see if you can see it, BK 35DE VQ, excuse me. Yeah, good shape, nothing going on with it. Little power steering leak, which all the VQs have, but nothing too serious. But it actually has a lot more room to work with. And yeah, they got a lot of options for this thing, because in Japan this thing's actually called the Fuga. Y50 is the model code. But they're interesting. It's a lot of cool features. There's a lot of cool stuff that I could get from Japan for this thing to make it a little bit more cool. Like, they have mirrors with the turn signal built in, which also has a camera right here, which I don't know if I could incorporate that. But they have anything from body kits to nice wheels to custom exhaust, which that's a little bit more pricey, but a lot of good stuff could be found with these. But for the most part, yeah, it's a pretty good little buy. There's a couple things I want to do to it if I keep it. That's my thing. I buy something and sell it every 5-10 minutes, but so far this has been a good purchase, even if it's just for a flip up to another step. So that's kind of the way I look at things. Even if I sell it, I'm not actually losing money, so it kind of just works towards another project. And there's one thing, I don't know if you guys are curious about it, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, might as well. So, my wife has a 2013 Kia Optima, and it's not typical. It does have carbon fiber wing, needs a little polish, it's been sitting for a minute. Acropovic full exhaust, no cats. BC coilovers, these cool oxygen wheels, which I think are actually made in Scotland and now they're discontinued. Inside, nothing too crazy. Got these cool Savini shift paddles, which are actually anodized aluminum. Carbon fiber steering wheel. This thing's meth injected, so got the meth gauge, boost gauge, and then I think a voltage gauge. Kinetic is one of the big brands for a lot of the Kia K5 stuff. Anything KDM, a lot of it has to do with that. Clean interior. She's actually getting rid of this thing. But now onto the engine, which is, the engine is, it doesn't make sense for a Kia, but it's cool. So let's see what we got. Sorry, I'm new to this camera thing. I'm working on it. In the front here, retrofitted headlights and fog lights. Let's see if I can do this. The other cool thing is this grill. Grill's pretty sweet, and you can see that big old intercooler piping. This thing has a synapse diverter valve, 4-inch retrofitted intake, powder coated intercooler hoses, kinetic strut bar. There's a catch can there for the PCB, and there's a catch can here for the intake side. You got, I think, a transmission cooler right there, and it's kind of difficult to see, but this thing actually does have a Treadstone intercooler, which is pretty awesome. Big intercooler. And yeah, it's running 26 pounds of boost on a 93 tune. Snow Performance methanol kit, and yeah, it's unique for sure. Last time it got tuned was like 2018, and in 2018 the thing kicked out, I think it was around 350, and they said with newer updated tunes it could probably kick close to 370, but it's a Kia, it's front wheel drive, it only has 55,000 miles. It's actually up for sale right now. Yeah, it's a sharp looking car, really sharp. And the other car isn't here right now, my wife's M45, which I had a shorts build series on, and did a lot. You know, we bought it for $1,200, thought it was just going to be some small stuff, you know. No, had to pull the whole motor and transmission, which was quite difficult considering it was the first motor and transmission I actually pulled and had to dig into it. Needed a head, you know, a lot of little stuff, a lot of leaks, you know, just a lot of maintenance stuff. And it's a big motor. It's definitely a big motor for an Infiniti, and that thing's Nissan badged, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so you know, thanks for watching, and subscribe, like, comment, you know, anything you're curious about in either one of these cars. You know, I've done a lot on the wife's Kia and her M45, which I'm gonna do a little video series on that one here too. Yeah, any questions you got, you know, reliability wise on the Kia, you know, any cool things, you know, you're curious about on the M, you know, I prefer it over the G35, just for the quality aspect. It seems like a little bit more was put into it, and it's a little bit bigger. You know, the car weighs 5,100 pounds, or 50 and some change, so it's not a light car. But yeah, VQ35DE. A lot of the motor parts fit off the 350 and the G35, but you know, I think the transmission's different and the suspension's different all the way around. I know you could convert the brakes in the front to the Akabonos or the Brimbos, but the exhaust from the Y pipe back, so you know, like the cat back, is different. It's unfortunate, but you know, they have some aftermarket support within reason for when it comes to big companies, but some of it's just not worth it. But yeah, so like and subscribe. Ask any questions you got, you know, appreciate it. All right, thanks.